Hello everybody, welcome back to another InfoSec operator tutorial. In today's tutorial, we're going to be learning how to scan addresses using the tools NMAP, Whois, as well as curl. Now, if you're not updated to Kali Linux 2020, that's okay. These programs should work. But this here, what you guys are seeing on my screen, is Kali Linux 2020, so I highly recommend upgrading to the 2020 version. And before we get into the video, of course, I have to say that the use of these tools may be very illegal in most countries. I know here in the United States it is very illegal to perform scanning and enumeration on most US-based websites or IP addresses or anything of that nature without authorization. So make sure you either own the device or that you have permission to scan the device. In one of the programs, I'll go ahead and show you that they actually specifically set up a website with that tool, so that way you could practice on that website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the video. Alright guys, so welcome back. Here we have our terminal open, which you guys can go ahead and do, or take a look at the codes down in the description below, and you can write them down and get to it later. But if you want to open up a terminal and follow along, again, I'm using Kali Linux 2020, and all you got to do is just click on this terminal button here. Especially if you're running Oracle VirtualBox like me, your setup should be almost exactly the same. So let's go ahead and get into it. We have our first command is called curl. Now I need an API access token to continue using curl, but I'll show you the command and you guys can use it. You can use it a few times for free at first without having to sign anything or whatever, get your API, but you know, after a few uses they kind of kick you out of the program, so it's not really going to show you guys much here at all, but I'll give you the command and show you guys how to run that. So here you type into your terminal, you type in curl space ipinfo.io / and then of course the address that you're wanting to find information on. So in this case right here, I'm just using my other laptop that I'm going to scan against right here on my own LAN private network. So the address to that would be 10.0.0.219. I accidentally hit 8 there, and you hit enter, and it's going to give you, you know what I mean, a bunch of information in a typical case, but it continuously keeps bouncing back these weird codes, and one of them said I need an API access token. But for you guys, if it's your first time using it, just run the command and it should give you some good information. Now the next command that we want to go over is Whois. This is really simple. If you just want to type in Whois and get all the help commands and see what different variables you can use here, then go ahead and just type in Whois and hit enter. Now I know kind of what I'm doing here with this, so I don't really need to go over that every little command, but I can show you guys a basic setup. So when we're running Whois, you just type in again Whois and then that address you want to get information about. Mine is probably going to gather information on the XAMPP server that I am running on my other laptop instead of just my laptop, but we'll see here what happens. So we got Internet Assigned Numbers Authority, so IANA, and I'm assuming that probably shouldn't have been scanned, but okay. It's the registry to the internet numbers. We could just do a Whois on a website, so Whois www.facebook.com, and they're gonna get me all this info here. database to view the registers recorded. Okay, so you got a little bit of information here, but nothing too important though. So clear. You know, there's a couple other options you could do, but we could try Whois google.com, and there you have you know, an agreement you gotta go through, and you get this is the information I wanted you guys to see right here. So you got your domain status, you got your registry organization, state and province, country, email, organization of that admin organization, so Google LLC, pretty simple. California, US, admin email, name server. So you got all the name servers here. You can go and do the ICANN search and find some of that out too. But this is just giving you, you know, some important data. I mean, they even have a phone number here, but important data about like who owns something and where that is located, where's it headquartered if it's a big corporation like Google. You know, so we can get a good bit of information just by running a Whois. So that's not exactly poking and prodding into somebody's, you know, website or network or anything, but there you get a good idea of kind of what you're looking at or going up against. So now the next thing to do would be run an NMAP scan, which we are not going to run an NMAP scan on any website that could potentially get us into trouble. So I'm going to switch back over to running NMAP versus my other laptop. So for this, you just type in NMAP. Yet once again, if you just type in NMAP and hit enter, you get a list of options. We're going to clear that though, because I'm going to show you guys a couple important ones, and then you guys can play around with it. So we want to, you know, your first most basic option is NMAP and run it against the IP address or website and see what happens, right? So sometimes it could take anywhere from a couple of seconds to a few minutes, depending on if you are trying to make less traffic noise or more traffic noise. It just depends. How much do you want to, you know, how sneaky are you trying to be against your target, and how much patience do you have? And we'll show you how to time that a little bit here, but for now, you guys can see I scanned my computer and I have 80 TCP open. That's HTTP, obviously 443 or SSL TCP open HTTPS, and 3306 TCP open MySQL or MySQL, because like I said, I'm running an example server, so that's open right now, which I haven't edited anything about that, so I'm not really gonna, you know, get into the detail of why that's open right now, but I haven't played with my server or secured it, I should say. So right now it's open. Alright, so that's one way to do it. So you got your NMAP and then your address. Now we can add in some different options here. If we want even more specific information, all we would have to do is tell NMAP, hey, you know, we want the version print, or we want the OS. Alright, so for version print and the OS, you do -v and then dash capital A space, and then of course your address. And the -pn, if I'm not mistaken, that's just kind of like how aggressive we're gonna get, but don't hold me to that because I actually forget what that one means. I just threw that in there. Again, yet once again, it's going to show we have that MySQL port open, 80's open, 443's open. Now it's probably going to try to find the operating system and the version thereof. So we tried once, we tried twice, and there you go. So here's, now keep in mind NMAP is not completely open, or I'm sorry, it's not completely accurate, like 100% accurate, okay? Because right here it's telling me that I have Microsoft Windows XP at SP2 at 87%. It's telling me I have FreeBSD, which is not even close to true, but okay. So what I'm actually running is Windows 10 and also that XAMPP Apache server. So I don't know if FreeBSD has something to do with that, but I'm definitely not running Unix. FreeBSD is a Unix operating system. I do not have Unix on there, not even in a virtual machine. So there you go, right there. And then again, they got your open ports, and what this is giving you guys is the option to access these ports. And oh, they do have Apache here on x64 Windows, OpenSSL, and PHP 7.4.5, and that's accurate. So that's, you know, they do have a little bit of accuracy going on here, but if what you can do with this information is you can start finding, you know, my SQL is open, well, we could do SQL injection or attack and start getting out personal information out of my XAMPP, and from there, I mean, it's a field day, right? You got those open ports, and you can just start siphoning information from that other computer to yours. Alright, so we're going to clear that, and then if we want, we could do nmap dash, I think it's VV, yeah, dash VV for it's more like a verbatim script, so even more in detail, kind of, depending on what you're running it against. So we have our address going up here again. Oh, not P0, 0.219. Run it, and it's going to start getting all this information again. But again, we see here the open ports. So obviously, this is very, very accurate. I have these; they're open. And then they give you state, service, and reason. My MAC address on that. And the company thereof, Cybertan Technology. We've seen that, what, three times now. You got some DNS resolutions, so stealth scan, and it tells you how many packets sent. 2005, received 12, and it scanned in 11 seconds. I thought that was a little bit faster than 11 seconds, but I could be wrong. So this is scanning with NMAP here, and I'll go ahead and show you guys one more. NMAP again, and then you can do a port range. So dash P and then 1 through, let's say, 700, just for kicks. Okay, usually it does 1,000. I think it is the standard if you don't define it, but we're gonna go with 1 through 700 and then type in the IP address again. Now it's looking for specific ports 1 through 700. So my SQL port is probably not going to come up now, but my TCP, my regular TCP HTTP will, and then my TCP 443 should. And again, MAC addresses. So the rest are filtered, and you got this information. Now you can start looking for vulnerabilities and to point which direction you're going to attack from, because you wouldn't, you see here you got an 80 open and you got a 443 open, so you wouldn't want to run in like a Metasploit against an 85 because it's filtered, so you wouldn't be able to attack. There'd be no connection. But you run it against an 80, you may actually be able to exploit the system. So that's why we do scanning. And you know, if you guys have any other questions or want even more commands for that, go ahead and drop it down in the comments below. Also, I am offering for you guys to join my Discord channel in a hunt for North Korean hackers. So check that out and see what it's about. Go join the Discord, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. InfoSec Operator out.